Hello and welcome to Across the Pond Aces, our second episode of the season. And we're on the road. We're kind of right in the middle of a road trip. You were at the Fever game last Saturday. But as we record this, we're kind of on the road. We've had two games this week. Jasmine, we've taken on the Lynx and the Dream. Lynx were pretty easy. Dream Dream, maybe not so much. We lost that game. We've lost we've lost two games this
We
season.
we shouldn't have lost that game.
No, well,
That dream game was disappointing.
we will get into that. Has to be noted that the Connecticut Sun, by the way, after beating the Dream tonight, are 8-0. I mean that's, and by the way, like I every year I say they look like a scary team that could really upset a lot of. In fact, they could upset the league, and this year is no different. In fact, probably even more so.
Yeah, I always said they were our biggest problem.
Bigger
Always.
than the Liberty,
Yeah, which is scary because the
which is really
Liberty is scary.
the Liberty is scary. Yeah. Ooh. How you doing? How's your week been? Because you've been watching games, but you've been having to watch them from the comfort of your home rather than in the arena.
Yeah, the week has been good. Shoot, I wish. Still thinking about that dream game. I was like, yeah, a lot of mistakes. I was like, I wish that fourth quarter is what killed us. And normally we are a really good second half team, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty. Let's have a look at the Minnesota Lynx game first of all. It finished 80-66. It,
Mhm.
it was a away game. It was in Target Center in Minneapolis. I do like how the Minnesota Lynx use the same arena as the Timberwolves. And
Yeah.
shout out to the Timberwolves. Conference finalists
Yeah.
this year in the NBA. My guy Rudy Gobert doing a pretty
Yeah.
stand-up job for them. Everyone wondered if that dynamic between like having two bigs like that would work, and
It
well,
worked.
conference finals would suggest that it worked pretty well. But anyway, we digress. Uh, I love Minnesota. I don't know why. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for them. They made
Same.
some signings this year. Uh, Natasha Heidemann, Courtney Williams,
Yeah.
who I mean, Courtney Williams has been on Across the Pond WNBA before. In our first season, actually, I think she was our first. No, she was our third guest, and she was phenomenal. And her story is really phenomenal as well. So I like to see that she's still in the league, still doing well. Um, a lot of players not playing though in this game for them, and Elisa Pelly, who's a rookie, I was kind of hoping that we might see some of her, but didn't in this game. Whereas on the other side, the only players we didn't see were injury and illness. Was
Mhm.
Kristen Bell and Chelsea Grace obviously still out? Still no timetable on
Yeah.
when she'll return. Um, but Asia Wilson, 29 points in 31 minutes. Like she's
Crazy.
just shooting 47, well, I'll say 48% from the field. She's just unstoppable. And it's the rebounds as well, 15 rebounds total. And she just looks so good. And with Jackie Young, like double digit assists and
Mhm.
points. So you got like two players on double double on
Yeah.
this team.
And with Aja, that put her in WBA history the most to lead consecutively with 20 plus points, 10 plus rebounds. Like that's amazing. Like you can't say that's the best. Like that she's not the best. Like that's the best player in the WNBA right now.
Yeah, for sure. What I liked about this game is we've seen another 21 and a half minutes from Kate Martin. I really feel that Becky has got a lot of faith in Kate Martin.
I got a lot of
Meg,
faith in Kate Martin.
yeah. Oh, and by the way, news came out today from the Aces, and I'm happy to share this. As of the 1st of July, there will be a new kind of order of Kate Martin jerseys that are available.
Yes. 4
So
games
very
they sold
happy.
out.
I know,
I
like,
want one.
goodness.
So that's my favorite number. I wore that number in high school too. It well, pretty much the majority of my basketball career is 20. So yeah, and I'm gonna need a jersey. Plus, she's been super, super big on. She's been a huge part of the Aces right now, and between her and Sid, and of course everybody else is doing their part, but her and Sid right now are the reason is our big help right now. Like it's huge. I'm glad she's doing what she needs to do. She's getting rebounds. She's playing defense. She should make a shot. She's making plays. I'm glad she's our little rookie is doing good.
Yeah, I mean, she's doing a phenomenal job. I mean, I played as number 10 through high school, and my kind of amateur career. I always played as number 10. Uh, Probably why I like Kelsey Plum
KKP.
so much.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Why Kelsey Plum so much. Uh, so the thing I like is that we are using the bench. It
hmm
was something I was critical of last season, that we didn't use a lot of our bench, and we put a lot on our key players, our starters. So it's nice to see them. Kelsey Plum still played 30, in fact, and Jackie Young both played 36 minutes in this game, which is a lot of minutes, to be fair.
hmm
But value, absolute value, right across the board. Kelsey Plum, 10 points in there, helping out with assists. I think her
Yep.
defense has been phenomenal. I think she had 3 wonder. No, she had 1 steal. 'Cause Asia had 2 steals. What I like though is we're not seeing a lot of turnovers. Like I think Asia, I think maybe two, three. But I think this was overall a very good performance from everyone right across the board. There
Yeah.
was a lot of turnovers, but I think we're seeing that across the board in the WNBA because there's a lot of steals,
Yeah.
a lot of steals going on,
Yeah.
and I think that's going to happen. Um, Alicia Clark, just solid on defense, maybe not putting up massive numbers, but you don't need to when you've got
Nope.
Asia, Jackie, Kelsey. So I think overall a good game on the Minnesota side. Like I say, I have a bit of a soft spot for Minnesota. They are a
Same.
nice team. I
They are
do
so
like them.
nice.
Yeah,
You let
they're
them once they
almost
get their chemistry together, they are gonna be really good, really good.
like I know Bridget Carlton is Canadian, but I think that kind of Canadianness has seeped through the team because they're all just very nice. Courtney Williams came up with 12 points in this game.
Yeah.
It was a tough game for them because you're going up against an established team. Uh, when you start adding players like Courtney Williams, Natisha Heidemann, and then rookies
Yeah.
Dorka, like yeah, it starts to get a bit kind of, I think, a bit like the Fever. Like they need to find their feet, they need to find their rhythm, and when you're playing so many games in a row and stuff, yeah, it
I feel so
gets.
bad for Fever in New York. They playing games back to back, I feel like.
Well, the Fever have had basically like what is it, seven games in 10 days or something like that.
Yeah, and they just
Um,
played and then they played again back literally the next day. I was like, "Holy crap."
it it is insane. I don't know who made up the schedule, but like we had 2 games this week, and I think the Fever had like 4. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's this seem to be some disparity between the the amount of games that teams are playing. I mean, I know we're on the road, but like we played um, Minnesota, and then we 2 days later we play the Dream,
Yeah,
which
we
I
had like
think,
a break.
yeah, we get like at least a day off. I mean, maybe we didn't want one given the scoreline. Um, it finished 78-74 for the Dream.
Mhm.
Again, the Dream are one of these teams that, like over the last couple of years, they've been through some turmoil. They're effectively, I think, still in a rebuild.
Yeah,
I don't think they're kind of out of that. Howard is phenomenal. Like she's a great player, and they added Alicia Gray from Dallas
yeah,
last year. So there is some pieces of they've added aerial powers as well, and I've always kind of been a fan of this team. And, like Tina Charles is just so solid for them,
she is.
and like this game, I wouldn't say I wouldn't really say that other than point scoring, there was like a key stat that won it for them. I think it was just like an overall performance. I mean, Alicia Gray scored 24 and Howard scored 16. Those were the kind of big scorers.
Yeah,
And Asia still had 28 points.
I know.
She missed out on her double double by one
Yeah, she
rebound.
was. Yep.
I mean, she's not going to care about that, to be honest. I don't think she cares about personal stats. I think she would rather see the team do well more than anything else. But
Yeah,
Kate Martin got another 20 minutes in as well. Not
yeah,
as productive as we've seen. Um, I'd probably say Jackie Young maybe had an off night this night.
yeah. I KP did too a little bit. She, I'm just yelling through the screen, keep shooting, just keep shooting. But yeah, I think they both. It's okay when one of them have a bad game because the other one makes up for the other. So, but when both of them don't have a good game, it kind of shows that we actually we really need them to score. We need them to, But to be fair, like they were making up on defense and everything else. But yeah, we needed them to score and be one. It wasn't good.
No.
But on the plus side, I know KP that game now leading the WNBA with the most 3 points made. Yeah.
Yes. Which is nice. Um, Kia Stokes. Last year I was critical, both on this show and on the WNBA show. I was critical because I don't, as a starter, I don't see what she's offering in terms of points, even to a certain extent, rebounds as well. And I think this year's a little worse. Like she took one shot this entire game. Like I'm sorry, like as a starting center playing 22 and a half minutes in this game.
I'm
w-
glad
We
you just said something.
we have to see more from you. Like you, it's all, and I don't want to say this about her because I think she's a lovely person from what I've seen, and but it almost feels as if there's four players and playing together, and it's almost as if she's kind of hiding at the back. Like I don't want to do anything in case it goes wrong and I get pulled up for it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I want her to be more confident and like just play. I just want you to be confident, play. Because I mean, I get it. Like Jackie had the same thing where she had to jump out her shell, had to be more confident, and look at Jackie now. Is a confident Jackie is a dangerous Jackie. But I want her to like Kia needs to step out of that shell because I was literally just saying that I want her to work with some type of big man player to help her, overcome that because we need help and boards and points. And I know she's more than capable of doing that because we seen her do that. I just need her to be more confident.
Definitely. I mean, Kia is. I think she's a really good player, but I just think I sometimes feel that she is just kind of there to kind of let everyone else play, and if I'm needed, I'm here. And I think in the system that we have, and we don't have a depth on the bench. Like we do not. I mean, yes, we've got Kate, we've got Megan Gustafsson and Sydney Colson. But I don't. You just don't have the depth for someone just to like
Chill.
be on. Yeah, just chill. Like, and I I just I don't think last season and the start of this season, we've really defined her role on this team. It's yeah, you're playing as a center, so Asia doesn't have to. But a lot of the time, Asia is the center, and
Yeah.
there's just yeah. I think I do like her. I think she's a good player,
Yep.
but I do think
We need
tend
more.
we need more, either more from her, or as a team they have to make the decision: is the value that she brings to the team on the floor, maybe not personality wise, on the floor, is it enough to warrant a starting spot on a double championship team,
Yeah.
which is going for a three-peat? I think that's a tough decision that Becky and the Aces need to make.
Yeah.
I'd give her more time. I would give her more. I'm not saying
We
we
just gotta
need to
go.
do
We
a
just gotta
knee
go in there
jerk.
and just shake her
Yeah.
up a little bit, just
Yeah.
tell her to get it together. We need her. We need some rebounds. We need some like we need baskets, blocks. We need it because we know she could do it.
Yeah. Well, we happen to know a center that's pretty decent. Michelle Snow could fly into Vegas for us. She likes to give people a good shake, I'll tell you. So yeah, that could we should
That's why I always
suggest that.
that's why I always say I was like, hey, I could jump in if the Aces need me, but I'll just stand at the 3 point line. Me and Kate could just, and KP could just, just shoot. All right, defense, I got them too. Anything else?
Anything goes. Um, so this was a loss, sadly. Now, this is our second loss of the season now. I think what did we get to 11 games last year before we
I believe
picked up
so. Yes.
our first defeat. So it's not great. It's not a great start, 4-2. It's
Yeah.
not, I think, and like we say that because of the standard that we tend to play at.
Hmm.
However, I think throughout a season, you are going to have nights like this where things maybe don't go your way, and the dream took advantage. And I say, well, hats off to the dream for doing that, because I think sometimes when you go in to an arena, and even if you are at home and
Hmm.
you see Asia Wilson, you see Jackie Young, Kelsey Plum getting off the
Hmm.
bus, you're kind of like a bit starstruck.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't think the dream were. I think the dream came out. They had a game plan. Definitely, they
They
had a game
definitely had a
plan,
game plan.
and they went for it. So I think the coaching was phenomenal in this
I
game, and
agree.
I take my hat off to them. So it is tough. It's tough to kind of watch, but I
Yeah.
think you're right. Like that
Yep.
that kind of third quarter, and I have to be honest. Like third quarters last year were sometimes a bit of a hit or a miss whether we were kind of any good in them. But
Hmm.
the fourth quarter, we would usually recover and it'd
Yep.
be fine. But yeah, this fourth quarter we really didn't, and they actually beat us the both quarters, which was
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah, that fourth quarter, they made a couple of huge. The Dream made a couple of huge plays and got some stops, and after that, it was like, yeah, we're gonna call game,
Yeah,
and yeah,
it
but
was it's not
it's a learning
nice.
lesson. We know now
Yeah,
we
we
can't
know
win them
now.
all.
Yeah, we can't win them all, unless you're Bayer Leverkusen out in Germany. It's not going to be done. But I think, like in every other game that we play, like we fight to the final whistle. Like no
Hmm.
one takes a minute off or a second
Nope.
off. So hopefully we can kind of we can move on from this. We've got Commissioners' Cup games coming up
Yes.
over the next couple of weeks. Commissioners' Cup working slightly differently this year,
Yeah.
whereas they're going to play all the games within a 2-week stretch, and
Instead
then
of
have the
spaced out.
final. Yeah, and then have a final later on. I don't know how I feel about this, because I think last year and the year before, I felt like from the opening tip of the opening game, because those some of those games were like Commissioner Cup games, there
Hmm.
was like an urgency to win those games.
Yeah.
Now, in all fairness, the competitiveness, I would say, across the league has probably actually gone up. But that was a worry of mine when they told me that the Commissioner's Cup format was going to change, because I was like, is the competitiveness at the beginning of the season not going to be there? But I was totally
It's
wrong. So
Yeah, no, it's they've been going at each other next from start until up until, the last couple games that have been played. It's just I love it. I'm here for it. It's helping bring eyes. We getting more talk about the WNBA than in the NBA playoffs, and it's amazing to see, especially where we just, years ago where people were barely talking about it to now, it's all that people are talking about.
Well, it's the same with the men's uh, final for the college. Like more people watch the women's final,
Yeah.
so any luck. Ah, right then. Let's have a quick look at some news. So the first thing is obviously there's the investigation going on
Right.
by the WNBA. So this has moved along a little bit further. Last week it was kind of like, oh, there's going to be an investigation by the WNBA. Now, not only is there going to be definitely an investigation by the WNBA, but Mark Davis has made a statement and basically is like, come check, come look,
Yeah.
because you're not going to find anything. Like, and he called into question that Nike is a 25% owner of the WNBA, and they're
Yep.
allowed to sponsor Caitlin Clark for $28
Yeah.
million for
Yep.
one player. Nobody's complaining. No one's investigating. He went on to say, and I think it's great that Nike's doing that. So he's not discounting. He doesn't think it shouldn't happen. But let's give credit where credit is due. Las Vegas Convention Authority is stepping up and recognizing these women. And if in fact we can get them hundreds of thousands of dollars or get into the millions of dollars for all of the players, and he says for all the players, not
Yep.
just for Aces players, for all the players, they can stay in the community, which
Yeah.
is what you want. Like, because you want these
Yeah.
teams to be in the community. They don't have to go overseas to play in the winter. They'll have the resources to stay and work in the community and work with what young kids and all of that. I love
Yeah.
the bit of the end, all of that. Um, and yeah, it basically says, yeah, come look, because you're not going to find anything. Because I think,
Yeah.
and like I mean, Michelle spoke about this on the WNBA show, and I said, was it right that the WNBA made it public that they were going to investigate? Because I kind of thought it wasn't. I thought it was kind of bad on their part. But Michelle was like,
Yeah.
no, it's good because it gets it all out in the open. Yes,
Yep.
there's going to be investigation, because then after the investigation, they then have to produce what the result of that investigation
Yep.
was. So I I changed my mind. I decided it was a good idea when Michelle made that point, because it then says to like the tourist board of New York, Connecticut, Atlanta,
Yeah.
Minnesota, it then says to them, well, maybe we can do that. Maybe we
Yep.
can like help the players help us by
Yeah.
bringing in more tourist dollars into our
Yeah.
cities. So I think it's good, and there's no set timetable for the investigation. That is just going to take time. But I think my anger was the fact that it's like another investigation. I think it's like our third in 2 years
Yeah.
from the from the WNBA. So I think from my standpoint, it was just like, oh, another one.
Yeah. Another one. I agree. I wish I'm kind of glad that it is. Well, I am glad that it is happening that they are investigating because yeah, you're right. Like teams, all these other teams, they might want to do the same thing, and it's like I feel like the Aces are the punching bag, the for a lot of stuff, and which is it's okay. I mean, we're gonna be the ones who can walk so everybody can run.
Yeah, I like that. I like that analogy. What are people? I mean, are people in Vegas talking about this? Because like this is obviously something that you know, like I say, third investigation in two
hmm
years. Like, is this something that people in Vegas are talking about, and what do they think?
They are, and they all coming to me like, "What do you think? What do you?" um, they think it's BS. Um, because it's like, hey, these women already not making a lot of money anyways. Hey, why not the city sponsor them? And they're still gonna be working, doing stuff. It's not like a free sponsorship. They're gonna be doing stuff, and I'm pretty sure in their contract is gonna be, something that they have to do. But I mean, everybody's like, it's why. It's just pretty much like why. There's no reason.
So they are gonna be doing stuff, like, they're gonna turn up at events and do stuff for the tourist board or of Las Vegas. So there is gonna be stuff that they do, which is good and is right, and I
Yeah.
think that was my point last week as well when we talked about it was, you know, they're not just being given $100,000
Hmm.
and that's it. There's a contract and, you know, they sat
Yep.
down with the players and the players' agents and worked out what they'll do and what they won't do, and like you would for any sponsorship deal,
Right.
I'd imagine. I don't have any sponsorship deals, but I would imagine that's how it goes because that would make sense. Uh,
Yeah.
but, now, what do we think about this? Just came out today. Tiffany Hayes, former Connecticut Sun, by the way, played 40 games last year for the Connecticut Sun, retired, and unretired today, and has joined our Las Vegas Aces. What do we think about that?
Hey, I would retire too and join the Aces. Like, come out of retirement and join the Aces. Like, I would do it. I mean, um, I think it's gonna be a really, really good help for us, especially with Chelsea being out. Um, we need somebody with her skill set, and I think with her, getting hopefully she's not super out of shape within that time period. but, but her getting back in the swing of things, I think is really gonna be really, really good for us.
Yeah, I think so too. She did say that joining the Aces will be very exciting for her, and she said, "I'm just grateful that they are willing to work with me as as I'm diving headfirst into a new era of my life. It will be nice to experience the West Coast and this
Yes.
organization, and I join them on the road to another winning season. I have no doubts that there is something special brewing, and I'm just another great ingredient being added to the mix." I like that. Like, I like her kind of response to that because obviously she's acknowledging that this is obviously a good team already.
Mhm.
Um, Jackie Young's been obviously playing out of position, and they didn't talk. They did kind of mention that they wouldn't be replacing Chelsea Gray. This kind of feels like we're maybe bringing someone in to replace Chelsea Gray now.
I don't I don't think we're gonna replace her. I think the impact that Chelsea is having off the court is amazing right now. Like, uh, just seeing her in coach mode is probably the best thing. Because one game, I think it might have been the ring ceremony night, the very first game, and she's in a huddle and she's yelling at everybody, but like, hey, you need to go do this, and she's right next to Becky on the sideline, like, so. Her impact off the court has been good, but I don't think they're gonna replace her. Chelsea can't be replaced. We is
Yeah, and
I
yeah,
think she's
I
just
agree.
there just to help. I just think she's there just to help until, she's better. But yeah, I can't see them replacing her. She's way too valuable.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Chelsea, Kelsey, uh, Jackie, and Asia. I
Yeah.
mean, pretty much irreplaceable. But this does give us some depth that we really don't have a lot of. Kate Martin, as we mentioned, is doing a good job. Megan Gustafson's coming in, but as at the guard, you know, we mentioned earlier on that both Kelsey and Jackie played 36 minutes.
Hmm.
You bring in Tiffany, and it's like we can give them like an extra 5 minutes off,
Yep.
10 minutes off, so that they can actually rest. Because I mean, that was kind of maybe the thing with the Atlanta game. there was a bit of tiredness kind of sneaking in
Yeah.
towards the end of that game. So hopefully gives us some legs in the game so that we can kind of
Yeah.
keep going and push on for wins. But I think it's exciting that we see someone else coming in and someone with like Tiffany Hayes' reputation. I mean, I
Mhm.
think she was averaging 12.1 points. 12.1
Yeah.
points last year,
That sounds yeah.
which, I'll say, I mean, who wouldn't take an extra 12.1
Heck
points?
with any day.
Just I mean, that would have beat Atlanta, let's be honest. So, just saying, just saying, that would have beaten Atlanta. We do have some games this week. However, now you have to forgive me with time difference and stuff. I think the first game's Wednesday, and it's against the Dallas Wings.
Yeah.
And the Dallas Wings, again, another team that I'm kind of a fan of, and I have a bit of a soft spot for, because
Same.
you look at their roster, and I just like their roster. To be fair, I think it's a very well balanced roster when you look at it. Now they're currently 3-3.
Mhm.
So they're not a walkover. And Latricia Tramwell is a phenomenal coach and proven that last year.
Yeah.
Uh, she is missing still sadly this year,
Yeah.
who's injured, which is a shame. But this is still
They
this is
still are really good.
still a really really good team. What do we have to do to be able to beat this team? Because oh,
They gave us some trouble in
McGowan,
the
yeah, I mean McGowan and Ogunbowale are just phenomenal just now.
part. You know what? I love Enrique Game. She's from my hometown, so she's from Milwaukee. So I support her. Sh- She's she's an amazing player. If we can stop her and don't let her score, like we just put, have Jackie just guard her, get her some points down so she's not scoring so much.
Be nice. She's actually averaging more points than Asia right now.
Yeah,
I think she's
she's number
27.5. Asia's
she's number one.
26.5. Yeah,
Yep,
she's
she's
number
number
one.
one right now. Yeah,
So scarily good right now. I mean, scarily good most years, to be fair. But in particular this year, she's doing a great job.
but I think what's gonna win uh, is we are a running team, so we can outrun them in a heartbeat. So us just running the floor, we'll be able to do it as long as we rebound. We'll be
Well,
fine.
this is the thing. I mean, they have like three rookies on this team. In fact, no, they have a bunch of rookies on this team. But then you have players like a Natasha Howard, Kalani Brown, Monique Billings. Like
Yeah.
you do have like some proper vets on this team. Obviously, you're missing Satu, which is gutting, but like JC Shelton, I mean, she's obviously come in and been a big
She's
part.
yes.
But like, I look at this team kind of like I looked at them last year. Like last year, I thought they're a very dangerous team for
Mhm.
most for most that go up against them, and
I agree.
I do worry about this game because like they they are on the up since Latricia Tramwell arrived in Dallas. They have had an upward trajectory, and I don't see that changing this year.
No, I agree. Just looking at the numbers too. Yeah, Dallas. Dallas is a really good team,
They are.
but
Do you think we win this game? That's the important question.
I think so. But we need everybody to be on one accord. We need our two KP and Jackie. We need them on one accord at all times. Because like I said before, if they are playing as one, we are unstoppable. And of course, Asia's gonna be Asia. And if we could get Alicia, like everybody, like as long as everybody do what they supposed to do and play their part, and we just can't no turnovers, and we need to make sure we rebounding the ball on both ends. Like we doing terrible. It's like somebody shoot the ball and everybody's back down the court already. It's like, dude, if you don't go get that rebound, like what are you doing? Do I need to come on there and come get some rebounds for you guys? I'm little, but I'll do my best. But
Jasmine, they
yeah,
are
I think
not gonna. You're not gonna get selected for the for the Aces. Sorry, they're not gonna do it. Like I'm
no, they
sure
not.
they'd
They
love
gonna be
to.
like you. They gonna say I'm too slow. And I always said my nickname growing up as a kid, it should have been slow mo instead of lemonade because I mean I'm a fast slow on the court. I'm a
Fast slow,
fast slow.
fast slow. Um, come Saturday, we are at home. It's going to feel strange. You're going to be back in the arena, back in the press box
Mhm,
for this one. This is the first Commissioner's Cup game for the
mhm.
Aces, I believe, as well, or second for the Aces, and it's against the Seattle Storm, and it is Saturday night. So like this is probably going to. I actually think this game's already sold out as
Yeah.
well. Um,
Friday. It's Friday
Friday,
night.
sorry.
Good
Sorry,
time difference.
time
Good
difference.
time difference.
Saturday. If you're watching in Scotland, it's 3 a.m. Um, if you're watching in Vegas, it's much earlier on Friday. So don't worry. But I've been looking forward to, like when I looked at the schedule this year, the first one that popped up that I really want to see, which is why I'm gutted that it's on at 3 a.m., was against Seattle because Seattle have really retooled on in the off season. They bring in Skylar Diggins Smith. Obviously, she
Mhm.
had a bit of a terrible time out in Phoenix, where she
Yeah.
was kind of not wanted.
Appreciate it.
Well,
Yeah.
appreciate. We'll go with appreciate. Maybe that's a bit better.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
I'm pretty much sure that the GM said she wasn't wanted. Um, they only have one rookie on this team as well, which is weird because like you look at the other teams. I mean, we only have one rookie as well in the Aces, but like when you look at the other teams, they've kind of hung on to rookies this year. Like rookies have been
Yeah.
a mainstay. I mean, you look at Chicago; they have what 2 or 3. Dallas, who we just talked about, have like 4 or 5. It's crazy. They've got NECA, they've got Joe
Yeah.
Lloyd, Skylar Diggins Smith, Mercedes Russell, who I'm a fan of, Sammy Whitcomb. This again, like this is quite a
That
really well
roster is
balanced
crazy.
roster.
Yeah, that roster is crazy. I can't wait for that game. I, I'm excited.
I think it'd be mental. I think I genuinely couldn't call this game. I think against Dallas, I think we do win. But this game, I really struggle to try and call because, like, again, I mean, this is a team that is finding its way because they've just added a lot of pieces to it.
Mhm.
Same time, like this is a good team.
It's and the best thing about this matchup is it's an equal matchup.
Mm,
Like it's an equal matchup. And just off of just you got Jewel Loyce, Skylar Diggins. So we got Jackie, KP. But just looking at the lineup, I think this is gonna be a really, really good lineup just off of the matchup alone.
yeah, I,
And
I think
they
I think it'll be the game of the night. I think there's a lot of games on Friday night, but I think this will be the game. It's probably why it's on Ion, I assume. Um,
yeah,
but I think this will be a phenomenal game for the Aces, and I think we do win. Like it's a hard call. I
I
I
think we win
think
too.
I think like we go 2-0 this week, and I'm pretty confident actually. I think it'll be a tough game. Like I don't think
Yeah,
it'll
this
be
is
a
gonna
walk
be a
in the
tough
park.
one.
I think this is a game that goes back and forth. As long as we can kind of be strong in those third and fourth quarters, like come
Mhm.
out second half and just be as strong as we were in the first half, then I think we should be good. But being in the arena for this one and being up in the press box, it, it's obviously a different feel to what I get 5,000 miles away watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Like, how loud are you expecting it to be, knowing that this is a big matchup, and all the fans know that this is a huge matchup.
I think anytime we play Seattle, the game is either sold out or it's close to sold out. Like, it's I don't know if they became our rivalry or what, but people and it too is we're not too far from each other either. So I mean, we get people from Seattle coming in. So I think it's gonna be a big turnout how the Fever game was, just because of who Seattle is and what the franchise built and everything like that. But I think it's gonna go. I think it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I think it'll be a really good game, and I think, like I say, I do think we come out with the win, and
Yeah,
I think that obviously, hopefully, that momentum kind of carries us through. Commissioner's Cup this year. Do we win the Commissioner's Cup this year? Do we, like, obviously we go out to win everything anyway,
yeah.
but if you could win this Commissioner's Cup or the league, the playoff final, which would you choose?
Playoff finals.
Yeah, me too. I would kind of. I
Yeah,
think the Commissioner's Cup's a nice thing to have.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure it looks really nice with the New York Liberty, but our WNBA championship looks even nicer.
yeah. That's why I was like, oh, we didn't win. It's okay. It's cute. It's fine. But we won the one that's more important. So
Do you remember when it's a couple of years ago now? Kelsey Plum won MVP for the Commissioner's Cup
she did the
final,
little trick.
and it was this tiny little goddamn trophy.
It was
I was
so
like,
little.
Kathy, come on! Like,
Oh,
did
it was
someone
so
just go
bad.
to a gift shop and get that like out of the gift shop? That was shocking.
He said, "Oh wait, we gotta hurry up and just grab something. We forgot."
You know what that was? That was the game was in the fourth quarter, and someone and Kathy turned around to her like people and said, "Right, have you got the trophies ready?" And someone went, "Trophies? I mean, we've got the trophy, but we don't have the trophies.
Trophy.
Are they getting one each?" And she's went, "The MVP trophy." Oh yeah, the MVP trophy.
So that's
We'll
a
go and get.
thing.
We'll go and get one. I'm sure they'll have something in the gift shop.
That was like a meme for
So
months.
long, so long. It was so much fun.
Did you just see KP holding his cheeses?
And and the thing is, like, she was so good about it. Like, I I mean, some players could have been quite nasty about it and been
Oh yeah,
like, "What the hell is this?" But you know what? Her professionalism was phenomenal. When she seen that trophy, she was like, "Oh, wow, I'm so lucky I'm getting this tiny little trophy."
yeah.
You could tell probably in the inside, she's like, "Really?"
What?
But, in all fairness, she made it a fun thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
that could have been one of those WNBA stories that just didn't go away. Like,
Yep.
look what they gave the MVP, the Commissioner's Cup, and I think because of the way that she handled it, I think it just never there was memes and obviously that kind of thing, but it never became a media thing,
Right.
and I think that's because of the way Kelsey handled the whole situation.
It was so funny because they all in the locker room taking pictures with her little trophy.
Yeah, so, yeah, it was fun. So Jasmine, you're gonna be at the game on Friday against Seattle. So if anyone sees, Jasmine, do say hi.
Say
Um,
hi.
say hi. You can she'll even let you take her picture. It's fine. And she'll post it as well on the Across the Pond
I
Aces
definitely will.
Instagram because we have that now. So you can follow Across the Pond Aces on Instagram as well. So don't forget to follow us there and on Twitter, X, whatever they're calling it this week. And I'm looking forward to this week. It's a shame I have to wait so long for a damn game, but
I know.
we will have some games this week. Looking forward to it. Season moves on. And as always, if anyone wants to get in touch, you can do through social media and we will call out anything you like. But for now, we will say goodbye, and we did promise last week that we'd have Samantha this week, but school takes precedence, and we're big on education here and across the pond. So Sam will be back next Sunday with myself and Jasmine. So you all have a great week.
Have a good one, everybody.